Hey friends, welcome to episode number 30 of Wally's 3x3. I asked 3 questions. I have 3 bullet point takeaways, all with the goal of building value and a sense of community by connecting people to people. I'm Wally, RE/MAX Advantage Plus real estate agent and investor, and I'm here at the world headquarters of CircleRock Custom Suits, Menswear, with founder and CEO Paul Graangard.
Wally, great to be here with you. Thanks
Welcome
for having
to the show.
me. Thank you.
So we'll get right to it. Question number 1. First of all, congrats on all your success and your transition from Allen Edmonds into CircleRock. How have things changed, like in your approach from when you were with Allen Edmonds to now, or have they stayed the same as far as men's fashion is concerned?
Well, there are a lot of things that have stayed the same, but Allen Edmonds was founded in 1922, and we were founded in 2018. So you've got to do things differently when you're starting right from scratch. We had no existing customers. Mm-hmm. We didn't have a base of business that we could build off of, stores already in the marketplace, iconic products, all those things that we had at Allen Edmonds to build the business off of. We tripled the business, but we had really strong base to build from. Here it's starting from scratch. Yeah,
in a crowded field.
In a very crowded, highly competitive field. So we need to work really hard to get people's attention, to get brand awareness, to get trial, and then to have customers become repeat customers.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Lots of things that are the same in how we're going about it. There's a high level of quality that we're trying to achieve here that's beyond the price that people are paying. We believe here at CircleRock that to be truly uniquely American, which is what we're all about, we want to be made in USA, uniquely American style, and part of being uniquely American, when our country has been at its best, it's delivered more than anybody else would deliver. And we're trying to do that as a company. So the sport coat, the shirt, the vest, the pants that you buy from us will be much higher quality for the same price, or a much lower price for the same quality as you might find in the marketplace from somebody up on this wall. This is a war room here. We believe strongly in a laser-like focus on the competition as one of our key commitments. Incredible customer service is another one of our key commitments. Teamwork, having fun at work. These are all our key commitments. And then the last one, of course, is just unsurpassed product quality.
Yeah. So quality, service, and value.
Exactly.
Right?
Sounds like a quick service restaurant theme, but McDonald's made those 3 things famous. But it's a great formula for success. And that is where a lot of the competition is vulnerable on, one of those 3 things.
No question.
And then the last thing, less than 2% of the shoes and clothing in America, bought in America, was made in America.
Wow.
It's about 1.6% in both categories. So I can't think of any industry that's been more thoroughly offshore
outsourced,
over the last 30 years. And it's a huge chunk of our economy that we just gave away, mostly to Asia.
Yeah.
And what's left in terms of made in the USA, obviously, are plants that are the best, because the weak ones,
they survived.
Closed. These are the ones that survived, and they're our partners, our manufacturing partners, who make these great garments out of mostly Italian fabrics, although our leathers are mostly USA leathers. We've got some great partners.
Yeah, some beautiful products.
Yeah, really. But it's made here in the USA, and we're really committed to that.
Yeah, good for you. Well, and that's where you separate yourself in a crowded field as well.
It's part of it, yes.
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
So we're actually, in terms of the difference between the two, we're on 3 missions here. And one of them is completely different than what we were trying to do in the past. But at CircleRock, the 3 missions are, first of all, this great product and an unbelievable value. The second mission is to sustain, and hopefully, if we're successful, to help grow American employment.
Yeah.
I think that employment in this country is very much like the environment in this country. If we're not careful, if we don't take care of things, we'll be sorry 20 years from now. And I really want to help sustain middle-class American jobs.
Yeah.
We can't all program computers. We're not all going to sell insurance. Manufacturing is something that we need to be strong at in this country.
No question.
And this is actually a very clean kind of manufacturing, garment manufacturing, and we really want to try to help rebuild that industry to the best we can. And then the third mission, which is brand new this time, is I'm very concerned about and frustrated with the tone in this country. If you read books on leadership, they always talk about the tone at the top. And where does the tone come from at the top in our country? Well, it comes from a lot of different corners. But what we're hearing from some of the tops has not been very inspiring, from the entertainment industry, from the political arena, and even from some of our sports stars. And when I was a kid, those three arenas inspired me like crazy.
There were people that you looked up to.
Yeah, and they delivered. Part of it was we didn't get as deep behind the curtain with people in those days.
That's true.
So everybody's flawed, everybody's got their problems in life, but and we didn't often know about them. But it's also just, I think we need to re-inspire ourselves to take our culture to a higher level. And so
I believe it.
We also want to help younger people, our target customers in the transition points in life, graduating from law school, business school, starting a serious career, maybe not your first job out of college, but where you're going to stay for a while. You're getting married. Your wife is now telling you don't just represent yourself out in public, you represent both of us. These are transition points in life. Your second and third promotions where you realize, I'm on my way now and I want to keep going. These are the times when people tend to take their wardrobe to another level, and that's our target.
Very important.
Target customer base. So, as you can tell, we have a lot of energy for what we're doing around here. It's very exciting, but it's also a white knuckle time. You're starting from scratch. You have zero revenues at the very beginning, and it always takes twice as long and costs twice as much as you'd like it to in a startup, and we're certainly experiencing that, but we're excited about the rest of this year.
Yeah, well, small business owners, the hardest working people in America, right?
I think you're right about that.
Well, very smooth transition into my next question, and we're gonna address dress for success. So I know when I look nice, I feel good, and I have good energy, good positive energy, right? So what would be your kind of definition of, or your thoughts on dress for success?
Well, when I was coming out of college, I'll never forget reading an article that in the Wall Street Journal that explained that you should dress for the job you want, not the one you're interviewing for, or the one you have. So, always be thinking ahead in how you present yourself. And another fact that I learned along the way as I was learning how to present to groups is these percentages. 93% of an audience's reaction to a presentation is the presentation itself. 7% is the content. So when you present yourself in a job interview, and I've interviewed hundreds of people throughout my career, and usually within the first 5 minutes, I had a feeling as to whether this person was going to go on or not. And it was handshake, look in the eye, but also how they presented themselves. And whether you want to or not, whether it's conscious or not, you're presenting yourself, you're saying something by how you present yourself, and what you wear is a big part of that. And a lot of people think, oh, that doesn't matter. It's what I've done, and no, it's maybe conscious on one side or the other. The interviewee might be subconsciously communicating, the interviewer might be subconsciously receiving the communication, but it's still there. And people really pay a lot of attention to how you present yourself in an interview. And you want to look like you're serious. You want to look like you understand what's going on in the world today. You want to look relevant in the world today.
Exactly.
I had a guy trying to present to me the other day, sitting in the chair you're in. He came in an old outdoor vest that was way too big for him, but fit the style of 10 years ago. He had a shirt on.
Very Minnesota.
He had a shirt on that if he'd stood outside in a stiff wind, he would have been blown away. It was way too big and thick, and he told me he's been working 1.5 years to try to get something off the ground, and I'm saying to myself, well, I can see why.
Yeah.
You're going to have to work a lot harder.
But, yeah.
You know, so it does matter how you present yourself. The most famous example of this that everybody relates to is the first televised debate, Kennedy versus Nixon.
Ah.
Kennedy was tanned, his styling was sharp, and Nixon was pale and sweat under the lights.
Yeah.
Kennedy had a little makeup on. Nixon didn't know that you wore makeup if you were a man.
Yeah.
And it threw the election in Kennedy's favor. Well, that carries through to today's life too. So dress for success is really important, and we've lost touch with that again in this society to a large extent. You know,
I believe it.
The hoodie motif, the as I say, the baggy vest or the baggy sweatshirt at work. You don't want to look like you're taking your job casually, because I guarantee you, people up the ladder from you aren't taking it. They're not taking it casually, and they don't want you to either.
Yeah.
So you want to show you're serious. It's like, you know, showing up for the game with the right uniform on.
Yeah, and there's no reason you can't skip Casual Friday, and you know continue
or wear the smarter look on Casual Fridays.
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing about women don't want to look at a party like any of the other women in terms of what they're wearing. Guys don't want to look like they're the only one wearing something. Well, so you still have leeway within the not being out there too far. I certainly understand this is one of the things that we think we're good at here at CircleRock is we understand the borderline between looking good and trying too hard.
Yeah.
So you don't want to look like you're trying too hard, but you don't want to look like you're just average, run of the mill. You know, if people don't hire mediocre.
Yeah.
So you don't want to look mediocre either.
Because they don't have to.
No.
Good stuff. Question number 3. So
yeah.
You're a very well regarded and trusted businessman, not only in the Twin Cities community, but throughout the nation.
Oh,
and,
thank you.
There's a new book out. I just came out, and it was just in the Star Tribune earlier this week. I ordered it right away on Amazon, and it's by J. Miles Shaver, and it's called The Headquarters Economy, about the Twin Cities business community. So many of the viewers might not know this, but between the 16, 17, 18 Fortune 500s that are in the Twin Cities, it's actually the highest concentration of Fortune 500 per capita in the country. And also there's the largest privately held company in America, but 15 minutes west of downtown Minneapolis. So what is it about the Twin Cities that attracts and also maintains a vibrant yet diverse business community? And why do you love working here and operating out of the Twin Cities?
Well, I've had the good fortune in my life to work overseas. I've traveled around the country for my business career for the last 40 years, really, and since I came back from working in Europe. And you really do, when you're away from home, you realize how special a place the Twin Cities
Agreed.
are. This is really an amazing community here, and especially for consumer products companies. We've had some of the most innovative retailing over the last 50 years has started here in the Twin Cities. We've had, and they're still here, great retailing. We've got great advertising firms.
Yeah.
The creative community here is extremely strong. The technology community, people forget when supercomputers were a big thing, that this was the capital of supercomputing. We've fallen off a little in technology, and we need to get our mojo back in technology, but it's a part of our diverse economy, which is a real strength for the Twin Cities.
Stability.
And the diversity in the Twin Cities, you know, it's always been a welcoming community. People have come here. The famous line of executive search firms that the Twin Cities is the hardest market to recruit into and the hardest market to recruit out of. Because of the quality of life that we have here. Now we've got some gap issues here that we need to work on to keep the 21st century as successful as the last half of the 20th century was. We've got some really serious things we need to work on here with respect to closing the education gap and also continuing to have a strong and diverse economy. But this is just a great place to live. It's big enough to be incredibly cosmopolitan and small enough so you can get around.
Yeah, good call.
Every time I go to some other cities and get stuck in an hour-long traffic jam, I realize how lucky we are to not spend a ton of our life listening to something on the radio, waiting to move at 20 miles an hour.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
it's a great town, but I think the best evidence of how strong a community this is how many people go somewhere to get world-class experience and then bring it back to the Twin Cities to help the Twin Cities stay world-class.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The arts community here, that's another thing that people sometimes underestimate, but the creative juices and the innovation that runs through our community, partially because of how strong our arts community here is easy to underestimate.
Yeah.
It's subtle in some ways, but it's very, very obvious if you
very strong.
Think about it. Yep.
And the business community supports the arts community.
They do.
Which is a win-win.
And there's no community more generous.
Yeah.
When people talk about what we'd like our country to be, it's many people outside the Twin Cities say, actually, what we'd like is for the country to be more like you guys.
Yeah.
So we gotta continue to deserve that.
Yeah.
And right now,
keep earning it.
We need to work hard on some really important issues to keep earning it.
Yeah. Well, good stuff.
This is fun. Thanks for having me.
I love it.
It was great talking to you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Wally.
Well, business advice, life advice, all wrapped up into episode number 30 of Wally's 3x3. Cheers, friends. Thanks for watching.